Hello students, today I am going to do O-level, that's grade 11, Department of Education, Western Province, year-end evaluation 2020-21. So this paper you got as the end of year-end evaluation this year. So make sure that you take 2 hours and try to do all questions. You already know there are 2 parts, part A and part B. Part A 25 short questions and part B 5 long questions. In paper 1, you get spaces to write down the answers. So make sure that you write all the answers within the space provided. So how many marks? Each question in part A you get 2 marks and try to complete within 2 minutes. And second part, you get 5 questions. So each question worth 10 marks. You can spend maximum 12 minutes for that. So let's do paper 1. So in first page, you get part A, questions 1 to 6. Second page, questions 7 to 12, and then you get 13 to 18, and then 19 to 25. Then part B, question number 1 and 2. Then you get 3 and 4. Last page, you get question number 5. So let's do paper 1 now. Let's take question number 1. A man deposited 2,000 rupees at an annual simple interest of 7% in a certain bank. What is the interest that he gets at the end of the first year? So you need to find out only the interest. So what's the interest value? 7% of 2,000. So 2,000 into 7 over 100. So 2 zeros get cancelled out. 7 times 2, 14, and 1 0 is there. So 140 rupees is the interest after the first year. So you get 2 marks for that. Question number 2, find the factors. So here 2 terms are there, and also you can write as square terms. I can write 4 as 2 squared, so 2x whole thing squared. This becomes 4x squared. 25 is 5 squared. Difference between 2 square terms, you can write one term positive and the other term with negative sign. So remember, a squared minus b squared you can write as a plus b into a minus b. So you get 2 marks for that. Question number 3. According to the information given in the figure, find the value of x. So sum of angles in a triangle add up to 180. So x plus 2x plus 75 is 180. X and 2x becomes 3x. Then take 75 to the other side. 3x becomes 180 minus 75. So you get 5 and 10, 105. So what is x? Divide 105 by 3. So 3 times 3, 9 for 15, that's 35 degrees. So 2 marks for that. From the following values, select the first approximation of root 52. So root 52 is in between. What are the 2 square numbers? 7 times 7, 49. and here 64. Those are the square numbers. When you take the square root, you get 49 square root is 7, 64 square root is 8. So in between 7 and 8. But we need to find out whether it's close to 7, more than 7.5 or less than 7.5. So we'll find out the fraction in between these and these. So what's this distance? 49. So that's 3 parts. What about 49 and 64? 15 parts are there. So that means 64 and 49. So 15 parts. So this is like roughly 1 over 5. So 1 over 5 means 0.2. So roughly 7.2. So that means less than. So we can check whether it's 7.2 or 7.3. We can ignore 7.6 and 7.7. Now let's see. You have to multiply and see the closest value. So 7.2 into 7.2. 70 and 2. 54, 14. So you get 2 decimal places, 51.84. What about 7.3 into 7.3? When you add it, you are getting 53 and 29. So which one is closer to 52? So this is like 1 point something. This is just point something. So this one is the closest. So this is the closest. So that means 7.2 is the approximated value. First approximation to root 52. So you get full marks. 2 marks for that. Question number 5. What is the speed that a car should maintain in order to travel a distance that it goes in 3 hours at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour in 2 hours? So first thing you have to find out the distance traveled. So what's the distance traveled? So when you take distance, speed, time, what's distance? Speed into time. So speed is given 80 kilometers per hour. So travel 3 hours. So multiply by 3, you get 240 kilometers is the distance. But needs to travel in 2 hours. So what's the speed? Speed is equal to distance over time. Distance is 240 kilometers and you have to travel within 2 hours. So what's the speed? 120 kilometers per hour. So that's the speed. So you get 2 marks, 1 mark here and 1 mark for the answer. Question number 6. Point A, B, C and D are located on the circle with the center O. If BOC is 120 degrees, find the values of x and y. So straight away you can find out the x value. So what's the relationship? The angle subtended at the center is double as the angle subtended on the circumference. If this is 120, x is 60 degrees, half of 120. And then what can you say about y? Same segment angles. So y and x both are equal. That's 60 degrees as well. So finding both x and y, 2 marks. So 1 mark for x and 1 mark for y value. Question number 7. Measurements of a right solid prism is given in the figure. Calculate the volume of it. So how you find out the volume? If you know the cross-section area and multiply by the length. So cross-sectional area is the triangle here, this triangle. So this triangle is the same as this one. So same right angle triangle is there. So what's the area of the triangle? Half into base. We'll take 4 and the height is 3. And the length of the prism is 10. So all in centimeters. So 2 times 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 10, 60 cubic centimeters is the volume. So you get 2 marks there. Question number 8. Find the gradient of the straight line which passes through the points A and B shown in the Cartesian plane. So we need coordinates. So what's the coordinate of A? When x equals 0, y equals 3. What about this one? When x equals 6, y equals 6. So easily you can find out the y-intercept. That's 3. But we want to find out the gradient. So what's the formula to find out the gradient? Difference between y coordinates over difference between x coordinates. So what's difference between y coordinates? 6 and 3. 6 minus 3 over 6 minus 0. So what you get? 3 over 6, or you can simplify and write half. Half is the gradient of this straight line. Passes through points A and B. So you get 2 marks for that. Question number 9. Find the minimum value of x which satisfies the inequality. 2x minus 1 greater than or equal to 3. Take minus 1 to the other side. That means plus 1. 3 plus 1. You get 4. Divide this by 2. Because if you are dividing by a positive, nothing will happen to the sign. So x is greater than or equal to 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 or more. So what's the minimum value? Minimum value is 2. One mark for solving the inequality and 1 mark to identify the minimum value. Question number 10. In the right angular triangle ABC, side BA is produced to D. BA produced to D. Midpoints of AB and AC are E and F. If AFE is 60 degrees, find the magnitude of DAF. DAF means we need to find out this angle. What can you say about that angle? So according to midpoint theorem, so this is a midpoint, this is a midpoint. These two lengths are parallel. That's according to the midpoint theorem. Midpoint theorem. Then what can you say about the angles? If this is 60, this is 60. Corresponding angles are equal when the two lines are parallel. Then what is this angle? And here if this is 90, this is 90. So this angle is sum of these two. So you don't need this angle. Sum of these two. Angle is this. So DAF angle is equal to 90 plus 60. 150 degrees. So 2 marks for that. Question number 11. Find the least common multiple of three algebraic terms given below. 2xy. So how can you write 2xy? 2 into x into y. We need to find out prime factors. 4y squared, 2 times 2. 2 squared into y squared. X squared means x squared. Now when you are finding least common multiple or lowest common multiple, you are taking the maximum power of the distinct factors. So lowest common multiple. When you take 2, you have to take 2 to the power 2. That's the maximum power. And x, that's x squared. And y squared. So 2 squared is 4. X squared. Y squared is the least common multiple. So 2 marks for that. Question number 12. It is estimated that 12 men take 10 days to concrete a road. How many men will be needed to complete the job in 8 days? So how many men? 12 men takes 10 days to complete the work, concrete a road. So how many man days needed? 12 into 10, that's 120 man days needed. But to complete the work within 8 days, how many men needed? So this is same number of man days needed. So we can divide by 8 and see. 8 times 1, 8 for 40, that's 5. So 15 men needed to complete this work within 8 days. 2 marks. Question number 13. Figure shows a cyclic quadrilateral PQRS. Side QP is produced to T. SPT angle is 100 and PQR angle is given 105 degrees. According to the given information, find the value of x and y. Straight away we can find out x. The exterior angle of a cyclic quadrilateral is same as opposite interior angle. So x is 100 degrees. Then how you find out y? What's the other rule? Opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. So y becomes 180 minus 105. So 75 degrees. So you get 2 marks, 1 mark for x and 1 mark for y. Question number 14. A frequency distribution prepared from the marks obtained by some students in a certain class is given in the table. Using the given information, complete the histogram. So 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20. So the widths are not the same. Here you get 5. The width of this is 5. Here also 5. But what happens here? 20 minus 10, that's 10. So that means when you divide by 5, this is 2 parts. So frequency you have to divide by 2 then. So 8 for each bar. So that's how you find out. First see whether the widths are the same. If not, you have to take the ratio and divide. So first one done for you, 0 to 5, that's 4. 5 to 10, 6. We'll complete 5 to 10, that's 6. In between 4 and 8, that's 6. Then 10 to 20, 8 each. So you can complete this, 8 each. So that's the histogram. So you get 2 marks. Question number 15. Index notation is given. Find the value of LG40. Log notation. 10 squared is 100. How you write in log notation? Log 10 base 100 is equal to 2. Index goes there. So take log both sides. LG. LG means log 10 base. Log 40 is LG of 1.6021. So this means you can take the power out. So 1.6021. Log LG 10 means 1. Log 10 base 10. So LG 40. That's how you write down 10 to the power. So LG means 10 base. 10 to the power 1.6021 is 40. So like here, 10 squared is 100. So you get 2 marks. Question number 16. In the figure, PQRS is a parallelogram. If the following statements are true, mark correct sign, and if it's false, mark cross sign in front of it. POOR is equal. SO and QO both are equal. So in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. So that's true. So this is equal to this is equal to this. That's true. The diagonal PR bisects SRQ. SRQ. What do you think? Is this angle is equal to this one? That's wrong. This angle is equal to this one because these two opposite lengths are parallel. And this one is same as this one. And those two angles are not the same. So this one and this one not the same. So you can't say the angle bisect by the diagonal. That's wrong. So 2 marks for that. We'll give 1 mark and 1 mark. Solve. 7 over a minus 1 over a equals 2. So a is the lowest common multiple. So you can straight away subtract the numerators. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 over a equals 2. Then you can say this is like 2 over 1. Cross multiply. 6 is equal to 2a. Divide this by 2. You get a equals 6 divided by 2. That's 3. A equals 3. So 2 marks for that. Question number 18. O is the center of the given circle. According to the information given in the figure, find the value of x. If O is the center, that's the diameter. So we know this angle is 90 degrees. Angles in a semicircle is 90 degrees. This is 90, so this becomes 60 and this is also 60. Can you see that? Because this length and this length both are equal. Isosceles triangle, angles are equal. Here opposite angles to the sides are equal. If this is 60 and the whole thing is 90, so what's x? 90 minus 60. You get 30 degrees. 2 marks for that. Question number 19. If AB arc length is 22, this is 22. Find the perimeter of the shaded region ABCD. So that means we need to find out this arc length as well. So what is CD arc length? Radius is 7. So you can say 90 degree angle, 1/4, 90 or 360, quarter of a circle into 2 pi r. 2 into pi, 22 over 7 into 7. You get 2 times 2 and here 11. So 11 centimeters is this one. So what's the perimeter? Perimeter becomes 7 plus 22 plus, this is also 7, another 7 and 11. 7, 2, 9, 10, 17, 1 remaining, 3, 4. 47 centimeters is the perimeter of the shaded part. So 2 marks. Question number 20. Number of passengers in the bus is 25. Probability of a passenger who gets off from the bus at the next station being women is 3/5. How many women are there in the bus? So altogether 25, 3/5 are women. So 3/5 into 25. So 5 times 5, 5 times 3, 15 women. You can write number of women. So 2 marks for that. Question number 21. So you have to fill the 2 blanks. Fill in the blanks in the given statement using correct geometric terms. Chord of a circle is by the dash drawn from the center of the circle to the chord. What's the theorem? If there's a chord and center is there, so when you draw a perpendicular to the chord bisect each other. So you can say chord of a circle is bisected. Bisected by the perpendicular. Bisected by the perpendicular drawn from the center of the circle to the chord. So these 2 lengths are equal. That's perpendicular. So these are the 2 words you have to fill. So 2 marks, 1 mark for this and 1 mark for this. Question number 22. So matrix multiplication and you are asked to find the value of x. What's the size of this matrix? 2 by 2. 2 rows and 2 columns. What about this one? 2 rows and 1 column. So these 2 are equal means you will end up with 2 by 1 matrix. That's correct. So how we multiply? First row, first column. 1 times 2. 2. X times minus 1, minus x. So 2 minus x. What about second row with first column? 0 times 2, 0. 2 times minus 1, minus 2. So this is equal to this. Can you see? You can compare the 2 sides. 2 minus x should be equal to 3. Then what is x? Take x minus x to this side. That becomes x. 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 means minus 1. So x equals minus 1. 2 marks for that. Question number 23. In the given Venn diagram, shade the region which represent A dash intersection B. So still if you are not okay to identify at once, just write A, B, C, D. Then think about A dash. What's A dash? Close A and write down all the other elements, A and D. What is B? B means inside the B circle, C and D. What's common? Intersection means common. Only D is common. So A dash intersection B is only D region. So we need to shade that. So this region is the required one. So this is the required region. You get 2 marks for that. Question number 24. It takes 60 minutes to fill a tank of capacity 2400 liters completely with water using a certain pipe. Find the rate that the water flows through the pipe. So rate, straight away you can write 2400 liters within 60 minutes. That's 60 minutes is 1 hour. So you can write either in this form. So 240 divided by 6, that's 40. So you can write 40 liters per 1 minute. That's the rate here. So you can write in hours or whatever, but if it's hours, 2400 liters per hour or 40 liters per 1 minute. So 2 marks for that. Question number 25. According to the information given in the figure, draw a sketch to locate a point equidistant to A and B and 8 centimeters away from AC. So halfway done. What are the loci points you need to know? Equidistance from a point is a circle. Equidistance from 2 points, perpendicular bisector. Equidistance from 2 adjacent line, angle bisector. And equidistance from a line, you get 2 parallel lines below and above. Now here in this case only drawn the above line. If you want, you can draw the line parallel to that below as well. But here it's just above given, 8 meters above. So this is 8 meters below also you can consider. Then equidistance to points A and B means perpendicular bisector. A and B. So what you have to do, you have to draw the perpendicular bisector. So this is just a sketch. Keep the compass on top of A, take any distance, you draw an arc above and below. And here keep on top of B, again draw the arc below and above. Then you can connect the 2 points, this and this. So that's the perpendicular bisector. So we'll take, this is the perpendicular bisector. Now we have to find out the place. Locate a point. So we'll take P, that equidistance to A and B and 8 meters away from AC. So where it intersects. So this is P. If you take this one, so you have to draw the line and see where it intersects this line. But you don't need to do that because it's, here I'll show the sketch. So if you draw this one and this broken line, we'll take this one is the broken line here. The intersecting point of here also possible. So you can say P2. So 8 meters from AC and then equidistance to A and B. So I'll put P1 and P2. But if you mark this point, you get full marks. Because already done 1 line. So 2 marks for that. So this is the last question in paper 1 part A. So do that and see whether you can do within 50 minutes, because next other 10 minutes you can check your answers and see how many marks you are getting. Each question 2 marks. So see how many marks you are getting within 50 minutes. Let's take the part B section. Part B question number 1, it's about fractions. So let's do, there are 4 parts in that question. Mr. Perera spends 3/8 of his monthly salary for food and 3/5 of the remaining for the education of his children. What fraction of the whole amount is remained after spending for food? 3/8. So full part is 1 minus 3/8 is the remaining part. So 1 you can write 8/8 minus 3/8. You get 5/8. What fraction of the whole amount is spent for the education of his children? So 3/5 of the remaining. So 5/8 remaining. From that 3/8. 3/5, not 3/8. 3/5 are remaining. So 5 and 5 get cancelled out. So that means 3/8 spent for the education of his children. So how many marks for these two steps? So you are getting 1 mark there and 2 marks for the second part. Part 3. After spending for food and education, he has a balance of 20,000 rupees. Find the total monthly salary of Mr. Perera. So what's the total? For food, that's 3/8. For education also 3/8. 3/8 and 3/8 you get, that's 6/8. When you simplify, that's 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 3/4. 3/4 already spent. So what's the remaining amount? Remaining amount is 1 minus 3/4. So that means 4/4 minus 3/4, you get 1/4 remaining. So that's the 20,000 rupee value. 1/4 is 20,000. So what about the full amount multiplied by 4? 4 times 20,000, that's 80,000 rupees. So that's Mr. Perera's monthly salary. Every month, Mr. Perera pays a loan installment for the housing loan that he has taken. If that amount is 10,000 less than the amount spent for education, what fraction of the whole salary of his loan installment? So what's the amount he spent for education? So education we found, that's 3/8. 3/8 of his salary, 80,000. So that means 30,000 rupees. But now it says 10,000 less than this amount for the loan installment. So what's the amount he spent for loan installment? 30,000 minus 10,000. That means just 20,000 rupees. But we found that's 20,000 means 1/4. Or you can say without looking at that part. So what's the fraction for loan installment? 20,000. He is paying from his salary 80,000. So when you simplify, you get 1/4. 1/4 of his salary. 1/4 of his salary spent for loan installment. So we'll see how many marks for these two steps. So getting 80,000, that's 3 marks. And here you get 4 marks. Identify this one, subtract 10,000, all these 4 marks. So we give all marks 4, 3, 7 and 3, 10 marks for the first question. Let's take question number 2. So you have to find the area, length, arc length, perimeter. So 4 parts are there. Figure shows a right angle triangle combined with a sector with the radius 14 centimeters and the angle at the center of the sector is 45 degrees. take pi as 22 over 7. Find the area of the sector. So this part, area of the sector. So the angle is 45 out of 360 into pi r squared. 22 over 7, radius is 14. So 14 times 14. 7 times 2. 45, this is 9 times 5, 9 times 40. Again 5 times 1, 5 times 8. 2, that's 4. 2 here, that's 7. 2 times 11. 11 times 7, 77 square centimeters. If the area of the triangle ABD is equal to the area of the sector, find AB length. So this is 77 means this is also 77. So how you find out AB length? So we know this is 14 means this is also 14. That's the radius. So what's the area of a triangle? Half into base 14 into length AB. AB is the perpendicular height. That's equal to 77. So 2 times 7, AB is equal to 77 divided by 7, 11 centimeters. So you get how many marks for this part? You are getting 3 marks for 77 square centimeters and 3 marks for this part. So that's 6. Let's take the third part. Find the arc length of DC. How we find the arc length? Angle is 45. 45 over 360 into 2 pi r. 2 into pi 22 over 7. Radius is 14. Here we found out this is 8 times bigger. 45 times 8 is 360. 7 times 2. 2 and 2, 4. This becomes 2. 2 times 22, that's 11. 2 and 22, it get cancelled out with 11. So finally we end up with 11 centimeters. That's the arc length. Taking AD length as 17.8 centimeters, find the perimeter of the combined figure ABCD. What's the perimeter? Now we found AB before. What's the length? 11. And CD length also 11. So what's the perimeter? Perimeter becomes 11 plus 17.8 plus 14 plus 11. So 0.8 is there. 7, 8, 9 plus 4, 13, 1 remaining, 2, 3, 4, 5. 53.8 centimeters is the perimeter of this figure. So how many marks for these 2 steps? So you are getting 2 marks for this and 2 marks. So earlier we gave 6 marks and these 4, 10 marks altogether. Let's take question number 3. This is about share market. So you have to answer 4 parts here. Mr. Kazim, who is a share market investor, invests 90,000 rupees to buy shares of a certain company, where the market price is 60 rupees per share. The company pays an annual dividend of 7 rupees per share. Find the number of shares that Mr. Kazim bought. How we find out number of shares? Number of shares is equal to 90,000. That's the invested amount divided by market price of a share. That's 60. 60 rupees. 1 0 get cancelled out. 6 times 1, 6. For 30, that's 5. 1,500 shares are there. Find the annual dividend income he receives. 7 rupees per share. So there are 1,500 shares. So the annual dividend income is 1,500 into 7. 0, 0. 7 times 5, 35. 7 times 1, 7 plus 3, 10. 10,500 rupees. So how many marks for that? 2 marks for the first part and 2 marks for the second part as well. After 1 year, if he gets a capital gain of 4,500 by selling all his shares, find the selling price of a share. So what's the gain per share? So there are 1,500 shares. So you can first find gain per share. The total gain, capital gain, is 4,500. Divide by 1,500. So 15 times 3. So 3 rupees gaining per share. So what's the selling price then? Selling price is buying price is 60 rupees. So selling price should be 3 more than that. So 63 rupees, because this is a gain. You have to add the gain per share to the market price. So how many marks for this one? 2 marks for part 3. Then it says, Mr. Kazim deposited the total amount he received as dividend and the capital gain in a certain bank which pays an annual compound interest rate of 12% for 2 years. After 2 years, find the total amount in his account. So what's the total amount deposited? So total amount. Dividend amount, that's 10,500, and the capital gain 4,500. 10,500 and 4,500. 10,500 and 4,500. Altogether 15,000 rupees is the invested amount. So this is compound interest 12%. If you put 100, you get 112 after 1 year. So what's the total your gain after 2 years? 15,000 into 112 over 100. That's for first year. Again, you multiply by 112 over 100 for the second year. So this is easier than finding the interest after first year and then add that value to the next year. So that's, you need 2 steps. Here you can straight away find out the total amount. 2 zeros, 1 0. Then you can divide by 5. 5 times 2, 5 times 3. 2 and this 112, you get 2 times 5 and 6, 56. Now we need to multiply 112 with 56. 50 and 6, you get 5 times 2, 10, 5 times 1, 5 plus 1, 6. 5, and 5 times 1, 5. 6 times 2, 12. 6 times 1, 6 plus 1, 7. 6 times 1, 6. And here 6, 62. 6 and 6, 12. You have to add 1. Now you have to multiply by 3 again. 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 7, 21, 3 times 2, 6 plus 2, 8, 3 times 6, 18. So the total value after 2 years is 18,816. So you are getting 18,816. So 4 marks for that, because you have to find out the total amount and everything. So 4 marks. So we give 4 and 2, 6 and 4, 10 marks for this question. Let's do question number 4. This is about pie chart and finding values, angles. Following pie chart represent the different types of vegetable plants chosen by Mrs. Padmini for her vegetable garden. Number of tomato plants are equal to the number of brinjal plants. So that means this angle and this angle both are equal. Find the magnitude of the angle at the center of the sector which represent the number of tomato plants. So we can easily do that. The whole thing is 360. This is 90 and 30, 120. So 360 minus 120, that's for both tomato and brinjals. And when you divide by 2, you get, for tomato, that's 240 divided by 2, 120. So this is 120 and this is also 120. Number of chili plants in the garden is 15. So 30 degrees means 15. Find the number of brinjal plants. Brinjal plants means 120. So 30 degrees is 15. So what about 120 degrees? So 4 times bigger. So 4 times 15, 60. So 60 brinjal plants are there. So this is 60. So how many marks for these two? You are getting 2 marks here and 3 marks for this part. Part 3. Find the total number of vegetable plants represented in this pie chart. Total number of vegetable plants. So what about 360 degrees? 30 degrees means 15. It's given. So what about 360 degrees? 15 divided by 30 multiplied by 360. So this is like dividing by 2, half of that. So you get 2 times 1, 8, 0, 100. This is not 180 degrees. This is 180 vegetable plants are there. That's the total. So we found out this is 15. 1 month after starting her vegetable garden, 30 ladies' finger plants got destroyed due to pest threat. 30 ladies' fingers. So 30 damaged. In a pie chart which is drawn using new information, find the angle at the center of the sector which represent the number of tomato plants. So tomato plants are the same, but what happens if 30 ladies' finger plants are destroyed? The total reduced by 30. So earlier 180. Now you have to subtract 30 from that. 150 is the total. So what's the angle? Now we know this is tomato plants. We found how many? 120 degrees, but we didn't find out how many tomato plants were there. So this is 60. What's that? Number of brinjal plants, 60. So that means tomato plants also 60. So 60 is there, and now the total is 150, not 80, not 180 degrees. So now the total is not 180, that's 150. So we can find out the angle. This is the fractional part into 360 is the angle of this tomato part. So 0, 0, 15, that means 3 times 5, 3 times 120. And 5 times 120, 5 times 2, 10, and 4. 6 times 24. 6 times 4, 24. 2 remaining. 6 times 2, 12, plus 2, 14. So 144 degrees. Earlier, that was 120 degrees. Now, the new angle is 144 degrees. So, how many marks? So, you are getting 2 marks for finding the total number of plants and 3 marks for the new angle. So, 3 and 2, 5. 5 and 5, 10 marks for that question. Let's take the last question in paper 1. That's about probability. Out of 5 contestants who hold numbers 1 to 5, 2 singers should be selected randomly for the final round of a singing reality show. Show the sample space of selecting 2 singers in the grid using cross mark. So, first selection 1 to 5, second selection 1 to 5. Here you can't take the same person for both selections. If it's one already selected, you can't take one again. So, you have to take 1 with 2, 1 with 3, 1 with 4, 1 with 5. If you select 2, then you can't select 2 again. If it's 3, you can't take 3 again. If it's 4, cannot take 4. If it's 5, you can't take 5 again. So that's the sample space. How many altogether? 20. 20 is there. Circle the area in the grid which represent the 2 singers who were selected. Hold even numbers and find its probability. So, where's even number? 2 with 4 and 4 with 2. So, only 2 possibilities are there. So, 2 possibilities out of 20. So, what's the probability? 2 over 20. Or you can write 1 over 10. So, how many marks for that? You are getting 2 marks for marking all possibilities in the sample space and 2 marks for calculating the probability. 1 mark for calculation, 1 mark for shading the correct region. So, 2, 3, 4 marks for these 2 parts. If there were 2 girls among the 5 finalists, complete the following tree diagram which is drawn to illustrate the event, selecting 2 singers for the final round. First selection, so being a girl, 2 girls out of 5. Then what about being a boy? The rest, that's 3 over 5. Find the probability of the 2 singers selected for the final round being a boy and a girl. So, you have to extend this. So, this is first selection. So, what about the second selection? Second selection. Again, being a boy, being a girl. Boy, girl. So what's the probability? Now already one boy is taken. So 3 boys were there. So now it becomes 2. And the denominator becomes 4. So if it's 2/4, this is also 2/4, the remainder. And here girl is already selected. So being another girl, selecting the second girl, that's 1/4. 2 minus 1, that's 1. So if this is 1/4, this becomes 3/4. So that's the full tree diagram. Now we'll find out the probability. Probability of 2 singers selected for the final round being a boy and a girl. So you can say probability of boy first and girl second, or girl first selection and boy second selection. 2 possibilities are there. Boy, that's 3/5. Selecting a girl second time, that's 2/4, plus first time 2/5, that's a girl, and a boy, that's 3/4. So 2 possibilities are there. So what's the answer? 3 times 2, 6, 6/20, and 6/20. That's 6 and 6, 12, 12/20, or you can simplify and write 3 times. 4 times 3, 4 times 5, 3/5. So we'll give marks for that. You are getting 4 marks for the tree diagram. And the final answer, 3/5, that's 2 marks. So here we gave earlier 4 marks and these 6 marks altogether, 10 marks for this question. So that's the last question in paper 1. So make sure within 2 hours you complete the whole paper and then watch my video to check your answers.